All right, I'm live. I think I'm live. There we go. What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. Let me see here. Let me make sure that everything's good. You guys, let me know if you can see me, if you can hear me, and if everything is good. And we'll get started here. It's been a while. It's probably only been like a week, maybe 2 weeks. The viewers are pouring in. What's up, native Coloradoan? Good morning. Well, for you, it's the morning, huh? It was like 10 a.m. there. I'm on East Coast time here in Ecuador right now. On the west coast of Ecuador, I'm on East Coast time. And right now it is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Good evening from the Netherlands. What's up, Mikkel? How's it going? Victor Batchelder from Colorado Springs. Got a bunch of Colorado heads popping up. Croatia. What's up, Mario? How's it going? All right. So what do you guys want to talk about today? You guys got any questions? If you have questions, make sure to just throw them in the box over there. If you're watching live, and you have questions, make sure you're signed in to either Google Plus or YouTube so you can put your questions on the right-hand side here. All right. Good morning from Los Angeles, California. What's up? You above water? Janet Diaz. I saw some of the videos of the flooding in California, and it's just insane. I grew up in Southern California, lived in Carlsbad down in San Diego before I moved up to Santa Cruz. And it's kind of crazy to see. It's like in the last 2 years, I've seen the area that I went to high school in Carlsbad. I've seen it on fire. And now I'm seeing it all underwater. There we go. Kyle Lundgren says, let's talk about stalling. Stalling. Oh, man. That's such a common... That's huge. All right, stalling. Kyle, let's talk about stalling. First thing you need to do when you think you're in a stall is you need to reassess your definition of what you think a stall is. Sometimes, almost all the time, we have unrealistic expectations on results that we're going to get when we make changes in diet and in lifestyle. You are not going to lose 5 pounds a week every single week. And if you don't lose 5 pounds a week every single week, it doesn't mean you're a failure. It doesn't mean you're not on point. It doesn't mean you're making progress. Fat loss is not linear. The body doesn't even behave in a linear fashion. The body doesn't even behave rationally most of the time. There's so many inputs. There's so many systems within this system interacting with systems within other systems outside of us. There's so many things that will affect our ability to be healthy, happy, vibrant, and strong. There are many things that affect our ability to lose body fat. Now, the first thing you want to do if you think you're stalling, first of all, if you just haven't lost any weight on the scale in 1 week, that is not a stall. That's just a temporary stubbornness of your scale. A lot of the times what will happen, and I'm not too well versed on the actual nitty-gritty details and the science behind this. But I've seen it happen hundreds of times with hundreds of clients. I see it happen with people all the time, even myself. What happens? You lose a lot of body fat, and the scale might not be moving. You might have lost 5 pounds of body fat, but the scale hasn't moved. Now, what happens a lot of the times? Those fat cells in those areas will fill up with water. A lot of times, water retention can cause the scale to stay still. So a lot of people get confused. They'll lose inches off the waist, but not lose scale weight. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you're actually in a stall. A stall is not 1 week or 2 weeks where you're not losing weight on the scale. A stall, I would define as anything more than like 4 weeks of no progress. And by progress, we don't just look at scale weight. You also want to take measurements, take chest measurements, take waist measurements, take measurements around the spots of your body that have a lot of fat on them and a lot of fat to tap into. You'll be able to tell if you're losing fat or gaining fat if you're taking these measurements, as well as looking at the scale. But a lot of the times, people start making lifestyle changes. People start working out. People start doing resistance training. People start eating well and fixing their hormonal profile and shifting that hormonal profile into a more beneficial anabolic state to where they're not just constantly breaking down their body with high cortisol. They're not always aromatizing a lot of testosterone into estrogen. So what happens is you'll be naturally able to hold more lean muscle mass, and your body might even put on lean muscle mass without even doing resistance training. It sounds ridiculous, but I've seen this happen. I've seen people increase their lean body mass, the levels of their lean body mass, according to DEXA scans, according to visual, and they feel it as well without doing any resistance training, simply from adjusting their diet and lifestyle to be more conducive to a healthy hormonal profile. So you can create more testosterone, so you can hold on to muscle mass, not break it down, and so you can add lean muscle mass. So that's another thing. If you're gaining lean muscle mass and losing body fat, the scale might not move. Now, reasons people will stall. I'll just say this. Let's start off with this, and then we'll kind of move on to another question, because I could talk all day about this, and I've talked about it in many hangouts, many videos, and whatnot. But the first thing you should not do when you stall is drop your protein and up your fat. That's what people have been told by a lot of gurus on the YouTubes and on the internet. A lot of people who are new to the ketogenic diet are jumping on the bandwagon and spouting a lot of disinformation and a lot of confusing information. And they're not doing it to intentionally confuse you, hopefully. This isn't CNN or Fox News or anything like that. We're talking about average individuals who have learned about the ketogenic diet, jumping on the bandwagon. Some of them see it as a way to make profit, because it is becoming very, very popular. So these people start regurgitating the information they find online. One of the most commonly regurgitated, vomited facts about the ketogenic diet, facts, and this is not a fact, this is a falsity, is that you need to eat 80% fat in order to be in ketosis and in order to lose body fat. Now, that is patently untrue. Let me explain to you why it's untrue. A ketogenic diet is any diet that allows you to maintain a state of ketosis, elevated blood ketones. Ketones are anything above 0.5 millimolars per deciliter, a little blood ketometer, of beta-hydroxybutyrate. A bunch of confusing words. Basically, to get elevated ketones, a ketogenic diet is a diet that elevates your blood ketones. Your carbohydrates are low enough that your ketones will be elevated, and you'll burn those for fuel in your brain, in your heart, and in many of the peripheral tissues. Now, in your muscles, you'll be oxidizing fatty acids directly, especially after the adaptation period. But ketones become the primary source of fuel, not glucose. So, I'm talking about, sorry, went off on a little tangent there, and I got distracted by my daughter making sounds down there, and I almost lost my train of thought, which does happen very often, especially when I'm talking to myself in here in front of a computer like a crazy person. Well, I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to you guys, but I can't see you guys, so it kind of trips me out sometimes. But a ketogenic diet is a diet that allows you to maintain ketosis. If you fast and don't eat anything, you will get into ketosis. You'll be burning body fat. That could be considered a ketogenic diet. If you eat a diet consisting of 100% protein, you could still be in ketosis. What? That's blasphemy. All the gurus told me that protein turns to sugar. Well, consider this. If you're eating a moderate amount of protein, say you have one meal, say you're super busy and you just didn't get to get any food in this day. Say you only had like a little tin of sardines. So maybe you had 20 grams of protein and 10 grams of fat, or 20 grams of fat if it's got the olive oil in it. And that's all you ate. That would be almost 100% protein diet. But if that's all you ate in a day, you're also going to be tapping into body fat for a good portion of that day. And you will have elevated blood ketones and be in ketosis. Here's another thing. What if you eat just one little serving of broccoli? Only one little serving of broccoli. That's pure carbohydrate. Pure carbs. You just had one serving of broccoli. Like, say you just ate 50 grams of broccoli. Now, I'm not saying that anybody should do these things. I'm just saying you can be in ketosis without eating 80% fat. 80% fat dogma is ridiculous. I see it confusing people every single day. So many of my clients have come to me completely confused, completely off track because of following regurgitated information like you must eat 80% fat to be in ketosis. So if you just eat some broccoli, that could be 100% carbohydrate, very low glycemic, mostly fiber, so mostly indigestible fiber. If that was the only meal you ate, like 50 grams of steamed broccoli, you'd be in ketosis all day long, and that would be a 100% carbohydrate diet. So how is this relevant to you? All right, let me explain. If you're trying to lose body fat, you don't need to eat 80% fat. Now, energetically and calorically, 80% of your calories will probably be coming from fat. In fact, they will be. But that fat doesn't need to come from the plate. The fat needs to come from your body fat. I'm not saying you need to avoid fat at all costs. I believe in the beginning, and this is what I do with all clients, I put you at about maintenance calories usually, or just slightly below maintenance to adjust to ketosis, to adjust the diet so that it doesn't stress out the body too much. Now, when you do switch over to ketosis, when you pull the glucose, it can be stressful. It can be stressful if you're used to feeding glucose your entire life. If your body's not used to burning fat, if you don't have the mitochondria there to actually burn the fat, you need to burn fat through the mitochondria. If you don't have those mitochondria, you might have a longer adaptation period, and it might be a little stressful on the body. So sometimes increasing the calories and eating more fats in the beginning can be very beneficial. But when you're trying to lose body fat, if you think that 80% fat on the plate is required, you've been misled. A lot of that fat should be coming from the body. You should be burning fat from the body, not fat from the plate. So you hit a stall. You want to assess what's going on. Sometimes people are told to increase their fat to decrease their protein. A lot of the times when I work with clients, I'll end up doing the opposite and increasing the protein to a reasonable amount because some people have been tricked into being so afraid of protein. So sometimes we will increase the protein a little bit and decrease the fat on the plate so that we take the fat from the belly, from the body, from the viscera. You want to burn off that visceral fat, become more insulin sensitive. The visceral fat is the fat that's actually around the midsection, the fat that's around the organs and deep in there. That type of fat is associated with insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, and all kinds of negative things we don't want in the body. So we do want to tap into that. But you're not going to be able to tap into that visceral fat if you're eating 200 grams of fat a day. So if you're a woman who's 5'1" tall, you probably don't need 200 grams of fat a day, especially if you're trying to lose body fat. So there you go. There's a big long rant on stalls, on the dogma of macronutrient percentages. These are things I talk about all the time and things I'm always having to reiterate to new clients. But hey, I don't mind. I'm here to clear the air. I'm here to not spread confusing information. I'm here to spread what I believe is the truth. And I'm here to help you guys out and help you get back on track. So don't just increase the fat and think that's going to fix everything on your ketogenic diet. More fat doesn't make you burn more body fat. Very simple. All right. And this energy balance does matter. We all have to realize this too. None of these individuals who are pushing the insulin hypothesis like to really get into this that much. Now, okay, I shouldn't say none of these individuals. I shouldn't pigeonhole people into anything like that. The individuals talking about the insulin hypothesis have a great point. Obviously, hormones affect your ability to tap into body fat. Hormones affect your ability to be in a low state of low inflammation. Hormones affect your ability to sleep. Hormones affect everything. They create satiety. They create hunger. So hormones play a huge factor in this. But what the hormones do is allow you to comfortably shift the energy balance. Meaning, when you get into ketosis, you have elevated leptin levels, you're not hungry all the time. You're not feeling like you need to stuff your face all the time. You're just feeling satiated and good. This allows you to consistently eat less energy, to put less energy in. Because if you put more energy in the body than you are spending from the body, you can't expect to tap into body fat and lose weight. It's very, very simple physics, and physics still applies, even though, obviously, telling people just reduce your calories and you'll lose weight doesn't work because adherence is so low on these super low calorie, low fat diets most of the time. Now, you can lose fat on a low fat diet. You can lose body fat while eating a lot of sugar. And people have shown this over and over again. So it's not required to be in ketosis to lose body fat, but it is very beneficial. You're not going to be hungry all the time. You're going to feel good and feel clear-headed all the time. And just it makes it a lot easier to dial back the fat on the plate and burn the fat in the viscera and in the body. Richard and Mandy from England, what's up, guys? Janet says, yay. What's up? Sean Berganza, how's it going, man? All right, intermittent fasting, and how regularly should you do so? Victor, intermittent fasting is very, very popular. How regularly should you do it? Well, that depends on your goals, my friend. If you're trying to lose body fat, intermittent fasting can be a really good way to consistently get into deep ketosis and to restrict calories. During that fasting period, even if you're on a carbohydrate-based diet, you're going to feel usually more clear-headed and better. That's because when intermittent fasting, you're getting the benefits of ketones. You're elevating your blood ketones slightly. Now, you're not going to probably be into ketosis if you're eating, if you're still eating if it fits your macros, if it fits your mouth, if it fits your microwave diet, you're probably not going to be in ketosis because you're eating higher carbohydrate, more processed carbs. But you extend that fasting window throughout the day. So say if you stop eating at, I don't know, say you had your last meal at 7 o'clock in the evening, and that was your last meal, and you want to do by the books intermittent fasting. So technically, people say that intermittent fasting is a 16-hour fasting window. That's where they start. I don't know. It's kind of arbitrary, right? 16-hour fasting window versus a 15-hour fasting window. If you eat in 15 hours, is that still intermittent fasting? I don't know. I mean, these are just words, right? These are words and concepts that we put out there to represent things in the real world. So if you stop eating at 7 o'clock at night, you probably have your first meal at 11 o'clock the next day. That'll give you an 8-hour feeding window and a 16-hour fasting window. Now, that fasting window is not going to make you lose more weight, more fat. We want fat loss, not just weight loss. We don't want to lose muscle. We don't want to lose bone mineral density. We want to lose body fat, visceral fat, belly fat. We want to get rid of that fat. So it's not going to magically make you burn more calories or burn more fat. But because you feel so good in that period and the eating window is small and it's hard to eat a lot of calories in a 4 to 8 hour window, some people do a 2-hour window, it makes it very easy to lose body fat and consistently tap into it. So how often should you do it? Well, that depends on your goals, how you feel, your stress levels. Some females don't do that well with intermittent fasting. Some women do fantastically with intermittent fasting. If you're under a lot of stress, if you have a disrupted circadian rhythm, I never recommend skipping breakfast. So one thing I will say about intermittent fasting, this is just rapid fire. I feel like my jaw's going to wear out from all this flapping of my gums. But I prefer, instead of fasting in the morning, I prefer to fast in the afternoon. And when I work with clients, I almost always, unless they're so stubborn and they feel really good skipping breakfast, according to all the research, the circadian rhythm research, the research into hormonal profiles throughout the day, it is far better to get breakfast than to skip breakfast. So if you're going to skip a meal, skip dinner. So eat, say, from 8 o'clock in the morning until a good window might be 8 o'clock to 1 in the afternoon or to 2 in the afternoon. That would be about 5 to 6 hour eating window. Yeah. So you eat breakfast and lunch, decent sized breakfast, decent sized lunch. That's usually a better way as far as hormonal rhythms go, as far as getting to sleep at night goes. That's a better way to do intermittent fasting. For social reasons, it makes it a little difficult for people. Most families, they're off at work. The kids are off at school or with the babysitters or whatever, and then the family comes home, reconvenes, and has a nice meal together at night. So it doesn't always work for all people. But as far as your hormonal profile and getting better sleep, not eating in the evening is better than not eating in the morning. You want your stomach to be empty when you're sleeping. Janet says, I lived in Long Beach, Merino Valley, Helmet. You're probably talking about Hemet. I lived in Riverside, right next to Merino Valley, Janet. So, yeah. Long Beach, didn't spend much time there. A little bit of time spent in Long Beach, but yeah, I know Merino Valley and Hemet, right next to Riverside, where I lived for like 8 years. All right, here we go. Central Illinois. What's up, Sean? How's it going, man? Okay, so let me just finish this one point. You want to go to bed not stuffed full of food to digest. It makes it difficult to sleep if you just had a big meal. So even if you're not doing intermittent fasting, which is what led me to this idea, I think it's a good idea to try to get in your last meal around sundown. Eat when the sun's up. It's a good rule. How many cups of water do you drink a day? Depends. A lot of people don't drink enough water. Some people drink too much water. I drink when I'm thirsty. I usually end up drinking about a gallon a day, I'd say. That doesn't mean that everybody needs to drink a gallon or multiple gallons a day. 3 to 4 liters for most people is good. It might be too much for some people. If you're sedentary, if you're not sweating a lot. I live in an area that can get pretty dry. It can get really hot. And sometimes I'm relatively active. Sometimes I'm not very active at all. So depending on my level of activity, I will drink when I'm thirsty. So sometimes more, sometimes less. Oh, man. Here we go. I knew someone was going to talk about this. Somebody else sent me a link to this. All right. So Sean, what's up, dude? Sean says, I was looking at Jason Whitrock's 21-day, 4,000-calorie keto challenge. Dropped weight and body fat results show. Been thinking of what's going on there. Okay, so there's this guy. He's got a YouTube channel. He's been doing keto for like a year now. And, oh, man. I don't know. I've seen a couple of the videos. Somebody sent me a link to this 21-day, 4,000-calorie keto challenge. First of all, I'm going to tell you, energy balance matters. If the average individual is trying to lose body fat, goes out there and does this 4,000 calories a day on keto. Keto, see these little fingers? That means something. It's a smart-ass way of saying what this guy's doing is not a keto diet. I'll get into that in a minute. Average individual, you're not going to lose body fat on a 4,000 calorie ketogenic diet. Just because some dude who's super jacked, who's making a living promoting supplements from bodybuilding.com, promoting certain products associated with keto, just because that guy, look, you could say this to me too, just because look like I'm in good shape, just because I eat a ketogenic diet doesn't mean if you eat a ketogenic diet, you're going to get the same results. There's so many things that affect this, right? First of all, this dude's got a high level of muscle mass. Second of all, energy balance always matters. And this guy trains a lot. He trains heavy and he trains all the time. Another thing is there's so many things wrong with and misleading about this whole thing. Look, I don't think the guy's trying to mislead people. He probably really is eating 4,000 calories. But look at the macro breakdown of what the guy's doing. Just like look at the macros. I think in the video that I saw, he put the macros at the end. He was having 80% fat, 15% protein, 50% carbs. So he's going by the medical ketogenic diet ratios. So if you're going to eat 4,000 calories, you're going to end up eating, if you wanted exactly the ketogenic ratios, you want 80% fat, which is, it seems like for some reason, this guy still hasn't gotten beyond that. He still hasn't figured out or done enough research or looked beyond what people are just parroting out there. And he's doing 80% fat diet. Now that's great. Cool. Like if you're doing maintenance calories, 80% fat, necessary for an individual who wants to maintain body weight. The 80% fat came from feeding children who have epilepsy, who need to grow, who usually get stunted growth on ketogenic diet because they don't get enough calories. That's where the 80% fat comes from. It's required that those children have very elevated levels of fat. They don't have body fat to burn. So for fat loss, 80% fat's irrelevant. Now, this guy was doing 288 grams of protein. 288 grams of protein. That is far beyond the limits that are going to allow you to be in ketosis. Now, this might sound surprising coming from me, right? And I'm not just nitpicking. I'm not just hating. Guys seemed like a nice guy in the video I saw. You can't expect results like him unless you're doing the same training as him, taking the same supplements and exogenous hormones as him, and are basically him. So this is working for him right now. He's supposedly lost body fat at 4,000 calories. But first of all, it's not a ketogenic diet. It's doing 288 grams of protein. 288 grams of protein. He weighs 147 pounds, he said in that video. So if he's 140 pounds of lean muscle mass, that's eating 2 times. It's more than 2 times. It's more than 2 grams per pound of his lean body mass. That's like 4 grams per kilogram of his lean body mass, as well outside of the ketogenic range. I want to see his blood ketones. He's not in ketosis. Sorry, it's not a ketogenic diet. 288 grams of protein. Here's what I would, instead of criticizing him, I don't want to criticize the guy and try to break him down or whatever, but I don't think he's very well informed. Here's what I would do if I was going to do a 4,000 calorie diet. First of all, he weighs 147 pounds. I would set his protein because he's a bodybuilder and he needs a lot of protein, or he thinks he does. The minimum amount of protein he's going to need would be about 120 grams. That would maintain his lean muscle mass. Now, say we put the protein at 140 grams. Then the rest of it I would make up with fat. You don't need to double your protein because you want to keep the 80% fat ratio. That's why it's so confusing to me, like who formulated this diet for him. It sounds like he just used some dumb macro calculator and spat out his macros and he just did it by that. But first of all, I would keep the protein more moderate in ketogenic ratio because, as you all know, who've read like The Art and Science of Low Carbohydrate Living, who've done research on the ketogenic diet, vastly excessive amounts of protein will mar ketosis. So you're not going to be in ketosis if you're eating way too much protein. Now, eating a few extra bites of protein is not going to magically turn into chocolate cake. I'm talking about far excess of protein where you're oxidizing protein for energy. That will keep you out of ketosis. All the research shows this. You get a blood ketone meter. Eat 288 grams of protein in a day. See what that blood ketone meter tells you. If he's in ketosis, I'd be very surprised. But if I was formulating his diet, I'd give him at like 160 protein max and probably set his fat at like 300 something grams of fat to equal his 4,000 calories. Now, what's funny is he's also increasing his carbohydrates. So because you get 5% carbs, right? So 4,000 calories. How many grams of carbs could be 5% carbs and 4,000 calories? I don't know. But it's going to also keep you outside the ketogenic ratio. I think it was like 70 grams of carbs or something like that. So I don't know. That's my thoughts on that. It's irrelevant to you. It's irrelevant to me. You try to eat 4,000 calories, you're not going to lose body fat. So I don't know. If he's really eating that much and losing body fat, great. Good for him. Irrelevant for you. Irrelevant for me. All right, let's keep going. Is a quarter cup of kimchi bad for keto? No, it's probably great for keto. Why would it be bad? All right. Anywho, got any interviews going soon? You know what? I haven't really scheduled any interviews lately. It's been very difficult to find people that I want to interview. People that I want to, help out with this platform. I'm always open to helping out real, genuine, kind-hearted, good individuals who got something to say. So if you got anybody you suggest, I'm going to talk to Jason Fung soon. Very excited about that. I think in like 10 days or so, I'll be talking to Dr. Jason Fung. We can talk about fasting, whatever else he's interested in at the time. That'll be interesting. But yeah, it's kind of hard to find good people to talk to within the niche. And a lot of people don't want to collaborate with me. A lot of people don't want to collaborate. If you're not going to boost, if they don't feel like you're going to be, I don't know. It's just people don't like to collaborate. Scarcity mindset, right? Like they think that if they collaborate with you, they'll somehow help your business out. And I don't know. It's a weird thing. So, yeah, I'm always down to talk to interesting, intelligent, cutting-edge individuals. So if you guys got any ideas on people I should interview, throw that in the comments and I'll try to remember it and I'll try to get in touch with them. All right. Kyle Lundgren says, thanks for covering stalling. No problem, man. All right. Krilzo says, you are an inspiring person. What made you move to Ecuador? Oh, that's crazy to hear. Thank you, first of all. It's funny to hear, like, to hear you tell me I'm an inspiring person, because to me, I'm not an inspiring person. I have to get my inspiration from elsewhere. I got to look in other places. I got to look. I don't know. It's an interesting thing. Thank you for the sweet comment. Really appreciate that. What made me move to Ecuador? I've talked about this a few times, but so many things. This was 5 years ago. My wife, Jessica, and I moved here. No, 6 years ago. We moved here in 2010. It'll be 7 years in November. November of 2010, we came to Ecuador, and we loved it. We fell in love. We ended up selling everything we had and picked up and moved down here. This was in 2010. So many things going on in 2010. We were just at a crazy crossroads in life and wanted something different. We saved up money as much as we could. We worked hard. We sold our cars, sold off all our stuff, and we bought tickets and we made the change. We needed a change. We wanted something different. My wife and I had both the year before that finished university degrees, got our bachelor's degrees at the University of California in Santa Cruz. Very expensive place to live if your parents ain't paying your rent, because mommy and daddy are footing the rent bills for all the college students in Santa Cruz. So hard to find a good place to live. Lived in a crappy neighborhood with like dudes selling crack and heroin in the park next to the house. It's actually called Poets Park, which is interesting. And yeah, we lived in the boardwalk of Santa Cruz, and it was just, we were just saving up. We wanted something new. We were at a crossroads, and it was either more school, debt. And if you remember 2008 to 2010, there was a lot of talk about debt, money being printed out of nowhere, stimulus packages, General Motors becoming government motors and then sending the jobs overseas. All this stuff was going on. You had major clamping down on civil rights in certain areas. It was a crazy time. We were involved in some local stuff in Santa Cruz that opened our eyes to what was going on worldwide, and just seeing the things that go on the local level and local politics. If you get involved with, trying to help somebody run for office, you start to see the serpent starts to crystallize in front of your eyes. So we were seeing things that most people don't want to see, most people don't want to hear about. And I'm not going to get into it right now. It was a crazy time in our life. We saw a lot of crazy shit. And we decided, instead of going to school, getting more debt, staying in this hot zone of an area where a lot of things are going on, a lot of fascinating people that we met, a lot of interesting things going on. But I'm glad we got out when we did. And I'm glad we moved when we did, because everything just ended up lining up for us. It was what was meant to be. We saw the road signs. We knew that we wanted something different, and we jumped into it. We took a leap of faith, and it took a lot of faith. We didn't know what we were going to do. We didn't know what we were going to end up doing. We had no idea. I was looking at becoming a chiropractor. My wife was going to become a naturopath. Then we decided to put that off. We decided we didn't want to go to school again. We were so done with the whole university thing. You can see what's going on in the university system now. Look what just happened to UC Berkeley. The UC system it's in shambles. It's ridiculous. The university education is now useless. A bachelor's degree means absolutely nothing. For my business, I would much rather hire somebody who does not have a bachelor's degree. For many other entrepreneurs who run businesses, they don't want to hire people with degrees either. And it's not because they expect higher pay. It's because of the dogma, the blinders that are on individuals that go through the education system now. It's very sad. It's very disheartening, but it's real. So I'd much rather have an employee who was self-educated, who didn't go through the university system. But there's a long, roundabout way of saying that we didn't know. We were at a crossroads. We decided to make a major change. We took a leap of faith, and it paid off. We wouldn't have had our children if we didn't move to Ecuador. We wouldn't have had kids if we were still living in California. Couldn't afford it. Couldn't afford to live a lifestyle that we enjoy living. We don't like to live a lavish lifestyle. Our currency is time. That's the most valuable thing to me. My most valuable thing is not freaking money. It's not dollars. It's not fancy jewelry. I wear a ring. It's the only piece of jewelry I wear. This is my wedding ring. I could care less about the physical stuff. It's time that's important to me. It's energy. So that's why we moved here. And it's nice. We love it. It's a beautiful environment. The air's clean. The water's clean. And it's a different lifestyle. It's kind of Wild West. It's very different living in Latin America, anywhere in South America, Colombia, Peru, Bolivia, Ecuador. These are areas. It's kind of like going back in time a little bit. Now, the westernization is still happening, globalization, the pushing of mass-produced crap foods and crap products from China all over the world, brainwashed education, media, brainwashing media. It's all over the place. I mean, you walk in any store, people watching The Simpsons in Spanish. People are still they want American culture worldwide. So this is American culture. It's not really American culture. This is the hijacked American culture, right? This is the culture that's destroying America, a culture that's destroying the world, a culture that's destroying humanity, a culture that's sucking the energy of innocent individuals, innocent children, and throwing it through the meat grinder and making currency out of it. All right, this is not a political podcast. I'm sorry. It's getting a little heavy there. Let's rear back a little bit. But yeah, that's why. we came to Ecuador. It's beautiful. It's awesome. It's not perfect. There's no perfect place in the world. There's no Garden of Eden that I've been able to find in my travels. That all peace comes from within. It comes from your connection to life, from your connection to God. That's what's important. What's real to you? What do you serve? All right. That's what it came down to. All right. Thoughts on carb refeeds and how to do it right. Whew, carb refeeds. All right. Carb refeeds. We talked about this a lot. You don't need carb refeeds. How to do it right. I mean, if you do end up eating more carbohydrates than are required, sometimes it's nice to get in an extra little intense workout, turn it into some lean muscle mass, leverage that insulin release for some more muscle growth if you can. You're not going to put on 5 pounds of muscle from one carb meal. For most individuals looking to burn body fat long term and adhere to a ketogenic diet long term, carb refeeds are useless and detrimental. And what happens when you do eat carbs, more carbs than you need on a ketogenic style diet? You flood yourself with glucose. You're insulin resistant, naturally peripheral insulin resistant because of ketosis. Your muscles don't want to take up glucose because you need to save it for the brain. So when you do take in more glucose than you need, you usually end up feeling kind of crappy, and it takes you a few days to get back to normal. So for most individuals, avoid carb refeeds. How to do it right, it's all about context. There's many different contexts that I could talk about, but I'd rather move on and talk about some other stuff. All right, here we go. What kind of magnesium? Talk about last time. All right. What kind of magnesium supplements can you recommend for preventing and treating muscle cramps? What do you think about the bioavailability of magnesium carbonate? Good question. Magnesium carbonate, I haven't done much research on the bioavailability of this form of magnesium, but for muscle cramps, the best form of magnesium for you will probably be magnesium glycinate. That's a magnesium bound to a glycine, Glycinate, glycinate. Magnesium glycinate will be preferentially used by your muscle tissues. So use that one. All right. I'm actually getting hungry, guys. Had breakfast. I had to do a little bit of work on the car, and I wanted to do this. In my mind, for the last few days, for the last few weeks, has not been as much on diet, ketogenic diet, as it has been on things like rear drive shafts and steering columns and steering boxes, because I've been working on my truck and trying to get it dialed in. And my rear drive shaft is really upsetting me right now. So anybody want to donate a nice 1-ton rear drive shaft for my Blazer? Email me, because I might need a whole new drive shaft. All right, let's see. Me and my husband love your channel. I lost 10 pounds in 3 weeks. My husband lost 20 pounds in 3 weeks. Thank you, Janet. That's so cool, man. 10 pounds in 3 weeks is really good progress. 20 pounds in 3 weeks is amazing progress. I'm assuming because of the rapid fat loss that you've already had, that you've got a significant amount of more body fat to lose. Stay on point, stay on track. Get consistency in the diet. That's one of the things that can really, really help. Is being a little bit more boring with your diet can be helpful. Boring is a loaded term, but consistent might be a better term. But finding some staple meals, like a breakfast and a lunch, for instance, that you can eat every day, that you can enjoy, that gives you the nutrients you need, that's within the macronutrient parameters that will allow fat loss, and sticking to those meals consistently is a really good way to go about it. If you're looking for more ideas on food prep, if you're looking for ideas on meals, if you're looking for basically a training manual on how to become a master in your keto kitchen, you got to check out my wife's cookbook. My wife is somewhere outside. Jessica's cookbook, the Ketogenic Edge cookbook, a training manual for low carb, ketogenic, and paleo cuisine. It's like the quintessential keto cookbook. So if you're looking for some consistent meals, some more ideas, ways on how to use nutrient dense foods like organ meats, like how to prepare liver, how to make things like pemmican. There's a lot of really unique, amazing recipes you're not going to find anywhere else. There's an entire section on how to use the odd bits, the organ meats, things like heart. Heart can be amazing. You go to your butcher, you get 50% ground heart, 50% ground beef. You can make incredible meatballs. Mama's Best Meatballs recipe from the Ketogenic cookbook is one of my favorite recipes. It's a really quick one. You can make in bulk also, and then just warm it up and eat it. But yeah, check out the Ketogenic Edge cookbook. It's more than just a cookbook. There's a lot of stuff in this. It's a dense book. It's a nutrient-dense book. That's why we call it a training manual. It's a training manual for ketogenic, low-carb, and paleo cuisine. And I mean, just the amazing reviews we've got on it are so inspiring. Thanks to everybody who's purchased the book, who enjoys it. If you like this channel, if you like the advice we give, if you like these hangouts and you want to support us, get a copy of the Ketogenic Edge cookbook. It's only available on our website, primaledgehealth.com. We're not selling it on Amazon. We're not selling it through any other mediums. You can only get it through our website, primaledgehealth.com. If you want to support the channel, get the ebook. You will love it. We've had nothing but positive reviews, and really, really honored to be able to share this with you guys. We worked really hard on it. My wife was slaving away on this book for over a year. There we go. Alrighty. Stas says, I don't think he was talking about Jason. These people are maybe just tuning in, or I'm looking at comments from later. Yeah, no, I was talking about the Jason Whitrock guy. He was eating like 288 grams of protein in the video that I saw. Now, I could be completely wrong, and I could have misquoted. I hope I didn't. If he is eating 150 grams of protein, that's good. But what I saw, the video I saw, he said he ate 288 grams of protein, some high number of fat, and then like 75 grams of carbs. And he was more concerned with the ratios than the actual numbers in grams. And that's he's being misled on that one. So I hope he does some more research and learns a little bit more about ketosis, how it works, and instead of just throwing out that cookie cutter stuff. But yeah, whatever. All right, here we go. Victor says, absolutely outstanding information. Wow. Thank you for your knowledge, Tristan. It's amazing to take time out of your day to help people. Victor, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I mean, obviously, it does take time out of my day to do things like this, but we get something back. I mean, we've got the Ketogenic Edge cookbook. We've got a product out there that brings income to us and makes it worth it. So it's a mutual beneficial relationship. And you just thanking me and telling me that you've been making progress and using the information presented here for free all the time, available 24/7, that you've been using it and getting results, that's awesome. I'm stoked for you, man. Thank you so much. Hatham says, I'll collaborate with you. Right on. You're collaborating right now, dude. Rico, shout out from Riverside. What's up, man? Rico, the wolf. I lived in Orange Crest for a long time. I went to my first year of high school, in ninth grade, I went to Martin Luther King Jr. High School, which is a high school, not a junior high school. But yeah, I went to MLK, and I was going to be the first class, because that was a new school, right? I was going to be in the first class that would have been freshman to senior, but I moved to Carlsbad, and I'm glad I did. Love Riverside, got a lot of beautiful people and a lot of awesome people there, but I am glad I went to Carlsbad. It was a little bit better weather, a little bit cleaner air and water. Charles Poliquin, that's a good idea. I should get Charles Poliquin on. I like him. And I should probably have Jason on too. I want to talk to him. I think he was trying to prove the calories in, calories out theory was bull. Calories in, calories out is not bull, but it's narrow-minded. Now, look, if you force somebody to restrict their calories, they will lose weight. That's a fact. If you force somebody to eat more calories than they need, they will gain weight. That is also a fact. I've seen it so many times. People coming to me after working with these other coaches, they've been eating like 250 grams of fat, like way less protein than they need, 50 grams of protein sometimes, 250 grams of fat. They're not losing weight. They're gaining weight. They're gaining body fat. So I know you can gain body fat on a ketogenic diet. It's a fact. But yes, calories in, calories out does not describe what's really going on here. Calories in, calories out is a myopic, dogmatic way of looking at it. You can't just tell somebody, oh, you just cut your calories, dude. Then you're going to lose weight. You'll cut the calories out. It's all going to be good. Most people won't be able to adhere to that. Calories in, calories out does not describe everything that's going on in the body. But energy balance does matter. If you eat 10,000 calories, you're going to gain some weight, and you're not going to lose body fat. So, yeah, I'd love to talk to Jason Whitrock. I'm not really familiar with his channel. I don't know if he's a natural lifter. He's very, very lean, very, very muscular, and has very full muscle belly. He's always been doing it for a long time. So I don't know how relevant what he's doing is going to be to the average individual and for the general population. Mark Bell. Yeah, I'd have Mark Bell on. Mark's an awesome guy. I talked to Chris Bell's brother. I'd love to have him on again. He's been doing keto and loving it. He's lost a bunch of weight on keto. When I talked to him last time, he had a little bit of a cold. His voice was off. He was a little bit tired, but I'd love to talk to Chris again. I'd love to talk to Mark. Chris seems like a great guy, and so does Mark, his brother. Cade says, tips for making keto a lifestyle diet. I've gone on and off keto for 3 years. Longest was 11 months and 100 pounds of fat off, but I felt drained after. Great channel, by the way. You felt drained after. Well, 100 pounds, first of all, is a significant amount of weight to lose. Man, thank you for the comment and congratulations. I mean, 100 pounds. That's an entire person. You lost as much weight as like a 5-foot tall woman weighs. That's amazing. Congratulations. Enjoy it. Enjoy the newfound lightness on your toes. Enjoy the health benefits of not being overweight. So you're doing awesome. You felt run down at the end of that. I'm not sure why that would be, but my instinct would say that, first of all, when you're losing a lot of weight, you want to support the liver. Now, when the body is stressed out, one of the things that it does when it has a lot of toxic load to deal with is it'll shuttle toxins into the fat cells so that it can deal with them later. So when you're burning off those old fat cells, you could be dumping all kinds of crap, heavy metals, mercury, toxins, all kinds of stuff, PCBs, phthalates. These things can get lodged in the fat cells. So you could be having to process that. Now, sometimes just doing something simple like using something to boost liver health, like milk thistle extract could be really helpful for helping the liver to just process those toxins and get them out. That could be one of the things. Another thing could be that you just didn't formulate the diet in a way that was optimal for you. Now, to make keto a lifetime or a lifestyle, you got to have a solid foundation in food prep. You got to be able to make legit, good tasting, energy dense, nutrient dense keto meals that you can consistently eat. So consistency is key. It's key. Get a copy of the Ketogenic Edge cookbook, or use some of the recipes that we've got online. We've got tons of recipes online on our website for free. If you don't feel like shelling out the $20 for this book, which people have told us it's well worth it. Trust me, it is worth it. If you don't feel like getting the book, use some of the free recipes from the website, but find consistent meals that you can eat. You can make staples in your life. Also, make sure that your electrolytes are taken care of. So, most people will need to supplement with magnesium. Take magnesium. Make sure you're getting enough greens. Even take some chlorophyll, liquid chlorophyll. Getting in that magnesium and that copper that's going to be in that chlorophyll can be very beneficial. What else? Consistency. Gut health. Make sure your gut is dialed in. So including things like fermented vegetables. Making sure your digestion is good, that your elimination system, your systems of detoxification are working properly, and you should be good. But yeah, for long-term adherence, consistency, building that solid foundation of habits. And if you do slip up, admit it to yourself. Don't make excuses. Oh, it's okay. You deserve it. You lost 100 pounds. Eat ice cream for a week. And then that week turns into a month. Then that month turns into a year. And that year turns into you being 100 pounds heavier again. I've seen this happen. It sucks. It's hard to see. But be consistent. Hold yourself accountable. And sometimes having a network of individuals that you talk to about things, just some support, whether it's a coach or a friend that you're doing it with that you can contact if you're having a hard time, that you can have hold you accountable. Accountability is also key. So, yeah, very good. Sean says, I see you have reishi spore oil back in stock. I've been taking it daily in a therapeutic dose of a few drops twice a day. How do you recommend consuming it? Sean, that's a good question. And somebody else actually mentioned, talk about your amazing reishi spore oil. Here's the thing. I don't know how long we're gonna have it in stock. It might be out of stock already, so I might have to take it down. If it's out of stock, it'll be back ordered, and we'll be able to get it to you within a few weeks if it is out of stock and you've ordered it. So anybody who orders this after this podcast, if it is out of stock, I'm sorry to let you know, but we'll get it to you very soon. The reishi spore oil, it takes so much reishi to create the spore oil. So first of all, it's made from just the spores of organically grown reishi. They're using a medium of Chinese herbs, of organic Chinese herbs, to grow it instead of wood. So first of all, what's cool about it that I really like is it's a more sustainable way of creating fruiting mushroom bodies. So the reishi fruiting body can be grown on a wood medium, or some people use coconut husks and stuff like that, or you can use herbs. This is called the Junkai method of cultivation. I think that's really awesome that it's not using wood, that it's using organic herbs, basically using organic plant matter that's left over from traditional Chinese medicine herbs that are grown organically, and using that as a growing medium. I think that's great. Now, to make the reishi spore oil, you need a lot of reishi spores. Then you're pressing just the oil from those spores. So this is a super concentrated dose of the therapeutic fat-soluble compounds from the reishi mushroom. Very, very powerful, full of polysaccharides, full of triterpenes, actually less triterpenes than polysaccharides, but lots of stuff in there. And this is powerful, powerful stuff. Some people get like a buzz from 2 drops of this stuff. Comes in like a 1 ounce bottle. It's pretty expensive to make. It's pretty expensive to sell. But I'd say if you want to have an interesting day, try like 8 drops. Try 8 drops of it, Sean, and see what you feel like. A lot of people find they get super sharp. You get kind of a buzz, like that adaptogen type feeling. I usually end up feeling it around my heart and in my brain as well. But yeah, try 8 drops. Do it in the day because you'll be up at night if you do it. I like to save it for special occasions too. Special occasions being if I start to feel myself coming down with a cold or something, then I'll take a big therapeutic dose of it. But yeah, a few drops twice a day can be great for boosting the immune system. Reishi is also very, very powerful for supporting the liver, for protecting the liver. All right. Tyler says Tristan is the Gary Vaynerchuk of keto. Who's Gary Vaynerchuk? He's got a good name, Vaynerchuk. That sounds like an American-made car from the 70s, or like a German car. What is this? Is crazy.
Hey guys.
All right, can you guys see this? Ryder, what are you doing? We got visitors. What's up, dude? What's up, Ruby? You're so sweet. Check it out. Jessica just brought this. It's not gonna fall off. What is this?
I'm calling it a mega green pizza crust. It is gluten-free, sugar-free, grain-free, with some pizza toppings. It's so the crust, it's zucchini, yellow and green zucchini with kale and almond flour.
So that's all
and a bit of
vegetable
cheese.
crust. It's all greens and micronutrients and fiber in that crust.
And some nut flour.
Wow.
Yeah.
How much of the nut flour?
For the whole
almond flour, right?
Yeah, almond flour.
But a little bit or a lot?
1/3 cup for a like 7 to 8 inch pizza.
It's a pretty small amount of almond flour. That's awesome. That looks delicious. Ari, have you tried it?
No.
You haven't tried the pizza? Do you want it? Here, you can tell the people if it's good or not. It's got tomatoes and cheese. What kind of cheese is on there?
It's the grass-fed mozzarella.
Wow. So like a grass-fed A2 organic cheese. That's delicious. You just wanted one bite? Right,
she's been munching all day. Thank you.
A little preview of the madness that has been put into the Ketogenic Edge cookbook, right? Like she's working on another book right now. And we talked about releasing it in March several months ago, and it's basically done. We could release it this month, but we might wait a little bit because the first cookbook, the Ketogenic Edge cookbook, a training manual for low carb, ketogenic, and paleo cuisine, is still really popular, and it's hard to have two books out there at the same time. We might wait on it, but I don't know. What do you people think? Should we just release it now? All right. Nunya Business says, my friend has been in keto for 5 weeks, and he's been a daily cannabis user for years. He quit March 1st. He has a pre-employment drug screen in 3 weeks. Will being in keto make it harder to get clean? All right, so pre-employment drug testing for cannabis. Okay, your friend, in question, in quotation marks. All right, so cannabis, when they test for cannabis, like in these drug tests, they're looking for THC metabolites, which can stay in the fat cells for a long time. Now, this is like going back to like high school days when kids used to get tested by their parents when they get in trouble for smoking pot, right? Or when you got to get a new job. I remember people talking about using niacin to actually, like, niacin before the drug test will clear out your metabolites. I'll do a little bit of research on using niacin to remove cannabis metabolites from being able to be tested for in the drug test. 3 weeks should be enough, but look, if you've been a heavy cannabis user for years and years and years, you probably have a lot of it lodged in fat cells. I would suggest doing some sauna. Of course, take your electrolytes, get plenty of water. If it's a pee test, more water will water it down, I guess. But also, use niacin. That'll help clear your body out of whatever's left. And if you've been a heavy cannabis user and a smoker for years, why don't you use this opportunity to see what you can do without it? Like, I have nothing against it, nothing against using these plants therapeutically and stuff, but I mean, why don't you just try quitting for longer than 3 weeks? Maybe this is a good opportunity for you to rearrange your relationship with this plant, because 5 years of heavy use can take its toll. Like, the pro cannabis, I'm very pro cannabis. I think it's amazing medicine. I don't think it should be illegal anywhere. I think it's criminal that it is illegal. But obviously, there's, like anything you do in high quality quantities, there's a downside. So your short-term memory, the motivation centers of the brain can be heavily affected by cannabis use, especially early in life. So if you're young and you're smoking a lot of weed, back off. Back off. Yes, I know it can be an amazing thing. It can open you up to certain new thought patterns and make you feel more connected with life and give you a deeper connection to the mysteries of life. But that stuff kind of fades off, and if you're using it irresponsibly, you can start to reap some of the negative benefits of it and forget about the insights and the initial rush that it gave you. So yeah, maybe back off it a little bit. And yeah, that's my advice to you. But yeah, look into niacin. Tyler says, Tristan is Renaissance. So smart not to take on more of the education scam. Great wisdom at a young age, bro. I'm 30 this year, Tyler. Is that young still? Is 30 still young? All right, Typical Human says, I'm 350 pounds, been eating Nutrisystem. I think it's more for people that need to lose a little. Found your channel looking for a real way to lose and be healthy without the engineered food. Nutrisystem, is that one of those things where they give you shakes and like candy bars to eat all day? If that's the case, drop it, dude. Check out more of the videos on this channel. Check out the websites and the articles we've had and look into ketosis. You're 350 pounds. One of the best ways to lose weight when you have more than 100 pounds to lose is ketosis, the ketogenic diet. So you're going to want to eat a diet of whole foods, not prepackaged crap, whole, organic, if you can. You don't have to. It's not going to affect fat loss for the most part. But you want to go for whole, local, nutrient-dense foods. Sufficient protein, some fats in there as well. But because you got 350 pounds, you don't need to eat 200 grams of fat a day. And very, very low in carbohydrates. And those carbohydrates in the diet should all be coming from leafy greens, from leafy green vegetables, fibrous vegetables, and non-sugary, non-starchy veggies. So look more into keto. 350 pounds to lose. Congratulations on taking the steps to actually do it. But it's a long-term thing. You want to make this a lifestyle. These, like, what's it called? Nutrisystem. That's not a lifestyle. You can't just eat candy bars every meal for the rest of your life, or eat, replacement meal shakes for the rest of your life. It's not a good way to go about it. I don't know why. These are doctors are prescribing these things. It's crazy. But look into ketosis. If you want more advice, check out. I got hundreds of videos on this channel. If you need somebody to guide you, if you want coaching, you can even hit us up on the coaching section of the website. I do work one-on-one with clients, and I'm working on a platform to be able to handle more clients throughout the month, but I kind of prefer the one-on-one interaction with people just because it's more real. It's more exciting to me to get to see people and feel what's going on. And if you're looking for long-term fat loss, it's a lifestyle. It's not a Nutrisystem. You need a lifestyle. You need to build a platform that you can support yourself with and that you can move forward with for the rest of your life. And you need to build those habits into your daily life and make them your new habits. So it's habit formation. Typical human. How's your name? You are not a typical human. There is no typical human. You're a miraculous, amazing human. Keep being that. And lose that extra fat, and you'll feel even more awesome. Any thoughts on the flat earth theory? This is a keto channel, not a conspiracy channel. Flat earth theory. I guess that's not even conspiracy, it's cosmology. Dinosaurs are fake too. Oh, he's trying to make fun of. Hey, let's play nice, people. If somebody has an opinion that you don't agree with, that doesn't give you the right to make fun of them. All right, here we go. Magnesium malate is what my local store suggested. Yeah, magnesium malate's all right, but glycinate's a little bit cleaner, in my opinion. Hey, malate's great. Magnesium citrate might not be the best way to go for most people. That can be highly laxative, so you don't want to do magnesium citrate. Titano Tim says, I bought her book. Congratulations, enjoy it. And thanks for supporting the channel, man. It really helps, and it makes it worth doing all this. To be able to actually get something back and put the time into it is nice to have all this positive feedback. It really makes it worth it. Then there's two more comments. Mike says, love the book. It's awesome. M.Re says, the cookbook is great. Thanks. All right, Laszlo. If I managed to lose 45 pounds so far, about a year and a half on low carb, but now on ketogenic diet for 2 months, I'm feeling amazing. Thanks for your ketogenic cookbook. Thank you. So I guess if was supposed to be I've in the beginning. That dang autocorrect, right? Thank you for the shout out. I'm glad you enjoy the book. Enjoy it. Okay, so all right. So VSG Tanya says Jason had one high protein day during the experiment. That's not a scientific experiment, also, just so you know. I mean, Sam Feltham's 5,000 calories, didn't gain weight. His 4,000 calories a day, supposedly lost body fat. It's not a scientific experiment. It's an N=1 self-experimentation, and there's so many other factors that affect fat loss and hormone levels, especially if there's exogenous hormones involved. Your body's going to handle everything completely different if you're taking testosterone replacement therapy or something like that. But that's, she says that he had one high protein day and the other days were about 100 to 150 grams. That's good. I must have just seen the one video where he had higher protein. So I'm glad he's doing he's not eating 300 grams of protein for no reason. That's good. Any advice for people with a damaged metabolism from excessive dieting and calorie restriction? How do you heal to a point where you get back up to a more normal calorie range without gaining? There's a lot of stuff out there about that, a lot of conflicting opinions, but damaged metabolism is hard to quantify scientifically. There's a lot of people say there's no such thing as metabolic damage. There's such thing as metabolic adaptation, where if you lose weight, you need less calories to move around the body that's a lighter weight. All right. So yeah, fixing your metabolism. Eat sufficient calories. Eat sufficient fats, especially. You need those fats to create your hormones. And get on a good circadian rhythm, meaning sleep on time. Get good sleep. Eat first thing in the morning. Big meal. Decent sized meal. Big. If you're trying to lose body fat or not gain weight. But eat a good sized meal of proteins, fats, and fiber in the morning. And get sufficient fats in. And get sufficient protein in. Now, because of the way you worded your question, I'm assuming you've probably been involved in the absurd and dangerous world of competitive like physique competitions. I don't even know what to call it, because it's not really a competition. There's nothing objective about it. It's It's basically like these weird beauty pageants that people pay to take part in and starve themselves and hurt themselves to take part in. And I first of all, let me just say, if anybody's looking for coaching, I won't coach you for contest prep. I do not do contest prep coaching. I'm not going to help you get to 5% body fat and destroy your hormonal profile and stress your body out, because I've seen it over and over again, especially with women who do these competition diets. And they end up with thyroid issues, metabolism issues, depression, and just general malaise and a really, really wacky hormonal profile and circadian rhythm. So in order to correct that, give yourself time, rest, and sufficient calories, especially fats, and make fish a main part of the diet too. Probably depleted in DHA. Central nervous system, the CNS, requires DHA. Gets oxidized from all the Wi-Fi, non-native electromagnetic fields around. Artificial light, blue light, will oxidize it in the retina. So get and increase your intake of DHA through seafoods, through fish, whole foods. Don't just take a fish oil supplement. Most of those are rancid, and some of them might even do more harm than good. But yeah, a diet high in fat with enough protein, and give it time. The metabolism will heal, your body will heal. And if you're not stressing yourself out, driving yourself crazy with these fitness competitions, you will get back on track and you won't gain way too much fat. But unfortunately, when people compete, they get it further exacerbates schisms in the perception of the self and of the body. Meaning, like, kind of promotes eating disorders. I mean, these fitness competitions, let's be honest, these are sanctioned eating disorder pageants. Like, let's call them what they are. That people pay to take part in. It's ridiculous. I don't know. Don't do it. Don't do it, people. Please don't. And I'm not judging you. I'm not saying that, I mean, we all do things. We gotta get caught up in stuff that we maybe shouldn't get caught up in, but there's better ways to quantify your self-worth than standing up on a stage in front of people in your skivvies with oil all over yourself and destroying your metabolism by starving yourself. Tyler says Jason claims Natty and EAS and bodybuilder.com sponsorship. Cool. So he claims he's natural. Good for him, man. Guy's freaking huge. Obviously been working out for a long time and is very dedicated to what he does. If he is natural, awesome. Very, very impressed with his ability to maintain fullness in his muscle bellies and being at such a lean physique. When I get that lean, I get stringy and not nearly as full as these people. So cool. Very surprising. All right, here we go. Do you recommend any supplements? No. What is a supplement? I mean, there's no supplement that everybody needs to take. It's all individual, right? So no, there's no supplement that I say everybody needs to take. I'm really big into herbs. I'm really big into, whole foods and leveraging specific foods like maca, for instance, to improve hormonal profile, to actually balance the HPA axis and improve oxygen levels in the blood. I'm really into maca. That's why we have it on the website. So yeah, there's not really any supplements I recommend to everybody. It's all about context and intention. And supplements shouldn't be the first line of attack when you're trying to get healthy. You should be looking at your lifestyle, your circadian rhythm, and of course your diet. So let's see. What are some of your favorite things to put your maca powder in? Can you name a couple of things on a daily basis it can be put in? Good question. All right, one of the things that I like to do with maca, I really like the taste of maca. A lot of people don't. I enjoy it. It's got this butterscotchy, not really sweet, but almost like an earthy butterscotchy taste. I like to take a tablespoon of MCT oil and mix in 1 to 3 teaspoons of maca with it. And it just makes this beautiful consistency, like, I don't know, like sludge, maca sludge, I'll call it. And it's delicious. It tastes great. And you get that boost from the MCT as well as that adaptogen energy from the maca. It's a really good pre-workout or just a morning thing for individuals. So yeah, try that. Try mixing it with MCT. Also, maca with cacao synergizes incredibly They're like a match made in heaven. They've been eaten together for hundreds of years, for thousands of years by the Inca, who revered both of them highly. So yeah, maca with cacao, really, really good. If you're a chocolate maker, if you know how to make chocolate, make some chocolate with the maca. And I don't mean like Hershey's, like sugary chocolate. You can make 100% cacao chocolate, and you can even use some like low or zero glycemic sweetener like Lakanto, which has erythritol and monk fruit extract in it. It's a very sweet flavor. You use it 1-to-1, and you can make chocolate using cacao butter and cacao paste. I'm sorry, cacao butter and cacao powder, or cacao paste. And if you want some recipes, if you want to learn how to make chocolate, check out our website. If you just search on our website, chocolate, you'll find several chocolate recipes that Jessica's put out there. These are like top secret family secrets that are out there. They're really, really good. And I think some of them use maca. So yeah, that's a good way to use it. When should the biggest meal of the day be? Good question, Jerry. Probably in the morning or in the afternoon. Definitely not before you go to bed. Like I said earlier, you definitely want to keep your stomach does not want to be full when you're trying to sleep. So don't stuff yourself when you're going to bed. All right. All right. How do you suppress the ego that keeps telling me to move heavy weight and pack on flesh? How do you suppress the? Okay, so you're feeling a drive to put on muscle, but you don't really know why. You don't really want to. It's perspective, right? What does it matter? You want to spend you want to spend an hour every day doing the same repetitive movements just to get that little tiny bit of muscle growth. You want to be stuffing food down your face all the time, be this mass monster, and be so concerned with how much muscle you have. Just get it in perspective. What's important? Is it important to be huge? No. Is it healthy to be huge? No. So what would you rather be, healthy and happy, or jacked and miserable and vain? I don't know. Get it in perspective. Find other hobbies. Find other ways to relate. It doesn't matter how big your muscles are. It doesn't matter how big you are. Getting to the root of that thing, like if it's an insecurity root, you got to get to it. You got to pull that thing out by the root. And you got to sow that soil with something that lasts, something that's worth feeding. So, rearrange priorities, analyzing yourself, looking at yourself, being honest with yourself, and having the intention to drop the dogma, to drop those layers, to drop the fears, the insecurities, we call it ego, to drop that stuff and to peel those layers off. You just setting the intention is a big first step, but you have to follow through, and it has to be every single moment. Things will come up, and you have to you got to nip it right when it comes up. Those little triggers start to try and influence you to do this or that, like when you're talking about feeling a need to pack on muscle and just work out all the time. When those little thoughts and inclinations come up, cut that shit off at the root. Talk back to the thoughts that come to you. Where do these thoughts even come from? Like, oh, you're small, or you need to gain more muscle, whatever. Where do these thoughts come from? What's the root of them? It's nothing healthy. They're not healthy thought patterns. They're probably not even your own. Probably some program that came from the outside, infiltrated like a virus, and looped around and harvested energy from you for a long time. So it can take time and patience to remove them, and also faith and connection to a higher power. That's really what it all comes down to. Is what you're feeding going to matter in the grand scheme of eternity? Is what you're feeding going to matter 3 lifetimes from now? To your kids, to your kids' kids, to your progeny. Mike says, Tristan, you look leaner. Did you drop weight recently? No, there's so much subjective, like a lot of it. I mean, this could be like camera angle, right? It can make me look leaner. Lighting can make me look leaner. Actually gained significant amount of weight recently. I got really, really lean a few months ago and got out of it, gained more weight. And after getting really, really lean, your body becomes more sensitive. It's easier to kind of pack on both muscle mass and fat mass. But yeah, I've actually been gaining weight. But thank you for telling me I look leaner. I feel good. I feel happy, feel healthy, and I feel alive. And that's what really matters. Doesn't matter how lean you are. Doesn't matter how big you are. None of that matters in the grand scheme of things. All right, here we go. Do you have a recommended resource for learning more about body chemical interactions and biochemistry? Textbooks. Get some textbooks, some more modern textbooks. Read them. There's no one single resource to find information on anything. That's how dogma gets established. That's how guru worship happens. Tyler says, I may have misspelled the last name, but Gary V, be ready to be blown away, is an entrepreneur, immigrant, and now a social media empire. Cool. I'll look up Gary V. Thank you. Let's see what else. Hey, Tristan, do you work with women trying to get pregnant? I worked with my wife trying to get pregnant. So you're having fertility issues. I'm not a fertility doctor. I'm not like an expert on fertility. But if you're trying to get pregnant and you've lost your period, you've been too lean, you maybe need to gain weight, maybe need to look at your lifestyle and your diet. But fertility is generally highly coupled with inflammation levels in the body, of course, your hormones, and yeah, diet and lifestyle, circadian rhythm correction can be really, really helpful for that. So if you're trying to get pregnant and you're not able to get pregnant, listen to your body and don't try and force it. First of all, get your body into a healthy, balanced state, because you want that baby that you're going to bring into the world. You want that spirit that's going to inhabit that body to have a strong vessel, to have a good immune system. And so, yeah, maybe wait. Don't push it too fast. If it's not happening, it's not happening. But yeah, I mean, dialing in your diet, your lifestyle, and sometimes, using some supplements can be really, really helpful for fertility. Kirsty, I would say look into maca as far as a fertility food. Very, very powerful fertility food, been used for thousands of years here in the Andes. And reduce your stress, reduce your inflammation, and give yourself time. Don't rush it. Your body will know when it's ready. And yeah, when you're really stressed, when the body's not able to produce a baby, it won't let you produce a baby. It's very intelligent. Does intense weight training typically affect protein sensitivity? As a bodybuilder, would someone need to push over the above the 15 to 20% mark? Michael, I don't know if you tuned in earlier, but percentages don't matter on a ketogenic diet. What matters is you restrict carbohydrates enough and you don't eat ridiculous amounts of protein. They're going to push you out of ketosis and make you oxidize protein. So yes, because if you're doing bodybuilding, if you're trying to gain lean muscle mass, you need more protein. So don't worry about the percentages. Get your protein in grams and use fat to adjust to your goals. So if you want to gain more weight, if you want to gain more body fat, having a little bit more protein than you need at maintenance, say your maintenance is like 120 grams of protein, you want to gain weight, maybe push that up to 140 grams and jump up your fat intake as well, because that's where the energy comes from. The energy comes from fat, not protein. Protein is just there to repair and rebuild, as well as to create hormones like human growth hormone. And but yeah, you do need more protein if you're an athlete. You do need more protein if you're trying to put on lean muscle mass, but probably not as much as bodybuilding.com and these other scammers are going to tell you need. All right. NME10E says, you were the reason I decided to live a ketogenic lifestyle. I started 6 days ago, and I'm down 10 pounds. I'm extremely strict. Do you have concerns with how fast I have lost? Thank you again. No, you're not losing weight too fast, man. Strike when the iron's hot. You got a lot of weight to lose and you're feeling good after those 6 days. That 10 pounds, probably a lot of it is water weight, because when you get into ketosis, you lose water. Your body excretes water. You excrete sodium, magnesium, and potassium as well. So make sure you're getting enough electrolytes. And just keep moving forward, man. Keep on keeping on. Congratulations on the lifestyle change. And it's inspiring that you say that I inspired you to do it. But you just started 6 days ago. It's not a lifestyle yet. You're building your foundation. Every single day counts. Every meal counts. It's not about looking towards the future. It's about looking towards right now. What can I do right now to get my results? So keep moving forward, man. It's a lifestyle when you've gone 12 weeks. Then you can call it a lifestyle. So come back and comment here when you've gone 12 weeks. Keep going. Keep it up. If you need anything, check out the website. Check out the videos we've got here. But congratulations. I'm stoked for you. Shout out from Utah. Got the Ketogenic cookbook and love it so far. Thank you, Sean. Estelle. What's up, Estelle? Estelle says, I'm currently doing an extended water fast. Uh-oh, Estelle. 7 to 14 days. What tips would you give me for refeeding to not gain all of the weight back? I know a lot will be water. Okay. First of all, I do not advocate fasting for extended periods of time. I'm not saying that you guys should all go out there and do what Estelle's doing. She's doing things for a specific reason. I know some of the reasons because I know Estelle. I worked with Estelle like a year ago or over a year ago. It seems like she's still doing pretty well. Now, Estelle, after like a 7 to 10 day fast, you're going to be depleted. You're not going to be feeling that great. First of all, you want to increase your food intake very, very slowly. Don't just eat a big meal after that. You could hurt yourself seriously by eating those big meals. People after extended fasts who had big meals have died. It can be dangerous. So the first meal you have, what'd you say, Jessica? Okay, the first meal that you have, you're going to want it to be very small. That first meal might just be a few bites. Might just be like one egg. So start off slow, Estelle. Get into it. Your stomach's going to be shrunk. It's going to be much smaller. You will gain back water weight. So don't look at – that's another thing. The way you worded that worries me. It's like you're fasting and then you're talking about you're worried about gaining weight back. You shouldn't be worried about gaining weight back. You should be more concerned with like harming yourself from refeeding too fast. I don't recommend people fast for body composition purposes. I think it's got to be something deeper than that. It's got to be a spiritual journey because it is a very intense journey. It's like taking plant medicine almost, especially after like 5 days. You get so tuned in, your sense of sight, smell, sound. I mean, you hear things from miles away. You become super sensitive to other people's like magnetic fields almost. You become much more sensitive to their emotional state. So it's a profound experience. So when you do refeed slowly, Estelle. Small, tiny meals, like one egg. And then the next meal might be like 2 eggs. But yeah, very, very slowly ease into it. And be careful there. And I hope you're doing well, Estelle. All right. The Beauty Burn says, I don't feel well today, and I wonder if it's related to ketosis. How many days into keto does this flu-like symptom start? That's a good question. Now, after 2 to 3 days of cutting out your carbohydrates, you're going to start losing – the glycogen stores are gone. So you got no more glucose in the body. Your body's used to burning glucose. Your body misses the glucose. And your body might be a little bit stressed out, and your body's losing water weight and electrolytes. So supplement with some magnesium. Make sure you're getting 5 to 7 grams of sodium per day. So eat a bunch of salt. Take magnesium. I talked about magnesium glycinate earlier. That's a good one. Start with like 400 milligrams once to twice daily. That should be enough. Make sure you're getting in sufficient potassium from foods like avocado and spinach, and you should be good. But it won't last that long. It's just a quick little thing. Don't worry. The long-term benefits greatly outweigh that short-term slight discomfort that you get. Carlos says, I heard on YouTube that you don't eat pork. Why? Where'd you hear on YouTube? I made one video, or maybe I said it in another video. I don't know. I'm not trying to feel like you're baiting me into freaking people out about pork. Like, people love bacon. I grew up, I loved bacon. I loved pulled pork sandwiches and stuff like that. Tastes great, delicious. For many reasons, we just choose not to eat it. I'm not going to get into it. I'm sorry. I'm not going to answer that question. We don't eat pork. You just don't eat it. I'm not trying to influence you not to eat pork or offend anybody who loves bacon or turn anyone off to something that they enjoy and that they don't feel like they shouldn't eat. So, hey, if you like pork, eat it. I choose not to eat it. My wife chooses not to eat it just because that's us. So it's probably not relevant to you. I mean, I don't know. I mean, here's one thing. I'll give you one. Pigs eat anything, including their own young and dead human bodies. It's like, sounds disgusting, right? But a group of pigs will dispose of a human body. Everything but like the teeth and the hairs will be digested. They say never start a fight with a pig farmer. John Podesta used to be a pig farmer. Isn't that interesting? But yeah, that's just one reason. I don't know. If you like pork, eat pork. Don't worry about what I do. Just because I don't eat pork doesn't mean you should avoid it. If you feel like avoiding it, avoid it. Carlos says, I know you're not a big fan of fish oil, but if you need to drink one, which fish oil brand would you recommend? Well, why would you need to drink one? You don't. You just eat fish, man. Eat sardines. Eat salmon. Carlson's can be okay. Nordic Naturals as well. All right. Andrew says, sanctioned eating disorder pageant. Brilliant quote of the evening. Thank you. I like that one too. Trademark. I'm actually going to have my own sanctioned eating disorder pageant in this year. It'll be live cast via YouTube. Everybody prancing around in their underwear, oiled up, greased up, and starved down. And they're paying to do it. You don't even win. You like win to a piece of crap plastic trophy maybe. But you get street cred, right? Not really anyways. Anyway, all right. Sean says, I know you really cut back on your training, but how long typically was your training sessions? Not trying to get massive, trying to get a chest and shoulders like you. All right. Look, the way I train isn't relevant to the way you train. Lately, I have decreased my volume significantly and decreased the type of training that I do. I don't do as much heavy lifting, powerlifting type moves, just because I feel better using kettlebells. And I'm not planning on gaining a bunch of muscle. I don't want any more muscle. I actually dropped a bunch of weight, ended up dropping more weight than I wanted to drop because of this. It's just I feel better at a lighter weight, and I don't think it's I don't know. I'm just not that interested in being huge and jacked. I want to be healthy, vibrant. I like hiking. I like moving. I like being quick, nimble, like a ninja, like a white ninja. So yeah, all right, look, if you want to get your shoulders and your chest up, you want higher volume. But you don't want to do all that volume in one day. So a good way to go about it, if you're trying to grow, would be to decrease the intensity but increase the frequency in order to increase volume. Meaning, like, you want to hit your chest and shoulders, you can hit them 4 or 5 times a week instead of once a week. But the intensity and duration of those workouts will be less. So you might hit the chest and shoulders for 2 to 3 sets each body part instead of like 5 sets. You just do 2 to 3 sets per body part, and you can maybe hit it every day and increase the frequency that way. But the things you can adjust are volume, frequency, and intensity. I would say lower intensity, but undulate that intensity. So every once in a while, hit those heavy weights. You need to hit the heavy weights to get a certain quality of muscle, but you need volume as well. So you can get that volume by increasing the frequency, doing more sessions per week with less work. And for every individual, it's about finding that balance between pushing way too hard or not pushing hard enough. All right. Mario De Leon says, did you talk about your amazing Reishi spore oil? Thank you, Mario. I did. Thanks for shouting it out. It is incredible stuff, and I'm glad you like it, man. So yeah, if you rewind, I did talk a little bit about it. 1 to 2 drops of that stuff is sufficient for people to feel it. feel like a mind buzz a lot of people get, not unlike that you would get from like a high dose of lion's mane. And remember, this is a highly concentrated lipid extraction from the reishi mushrooms. It takes a lot of reishi spores to make that reishi spore oil. It's very, very dense stuff, and it's amazing. You're right. I don't even have any in my house right now. I need to get some. Sean says, because pigs eat anything. It's a dirty meat. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, they're pretty cute too, right? Andrew says, eat pork before they eat you. Hey, that's a good way of looking at it. What type of workouts are best when you're doing keto? There's no one type of workout that's the best for anybody. It's all about context. It's all about what works for you and what you're trying to do. What are your goals? What do you enjoy? What's your body type? What's your history? Anybody who tells you this is the workout you have to do on a ketogenic diet is misleading you. There's no one workout that's going to work on keto. It's like you can do high intensity training on keto. You can do heavy lifting on keto. You can run, you can sprint, you can do all this stuff. You can do low intensity, steady state. There's endurance athletes who do keto. There's power lifters who do keto. As long as it's not destroying you, and as long as you're not just breaking down your body too much, any type of workout, do what you like. Jim says, this sounds silly, but how do you weigh sardines? Like literally pop them out of the tin and eat, or what? Or how do you eat sardines? Sardines are so good. You don't like them just straight out of the tin? I do. I like the sardines and olive oil. Those are great. A good way to eat sardines, one way that I like, is make a couple eggs, have like an avocado or half an avocado, mash that up, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, some salt, pepper, mix that up, and then I'll throw the sardines in there, maybe have some greens with it, mix it all up together, eat the eggs on the side. That's a good staple meal for me that I eat all the time. I already had it today. Sometimes I eat it twice a day. But yeah, avocado and some greens with sardines can be a great go-to meal and can be a great to-go meal. Can be a great go-to meal. Estelle says, sorry, I worded it incorrectly. I'm doing this for resetting my immune system with my MS, added bonus of recomp. Yeah, there you go. I was going to refeed with broth. Yeah, ease into the broth, Estelle. When you start eating solid foods, like chew it really well and just ease into it. All right. Estelle says, trying to move my elderly parents to keto. They're in their 70s, but concerned the meds they are on. Do you think just reducing to 50 grams of carbs would suffice? They both intermittent fast daily. All right, so they're both in their 70s. Estelle, I would say start making them food. Like just get them eating food. They don't need to count. I mean, they're 70 years old, right? So if they just focus on keeping the carbs correct, like I taught you, just get the right types of greens, leafy green vegetables. Shoot, you can even get them on a meal plan just like the one that we worked on with you. Getting them eating sufficient protein and fat and keeping the carbs low enough, it should be good. Yeah, there you go. Joe Taylor says pigs are scavengers. They eat filth. All right, look, people like bacon. I don't know if you realize what you're doing here when you insult people's bacon. People are obsessed with bacon. So be very careful. Be very careful the words you use. Pigs are scavengers. They eat filth. I'm not saying I disagree with you. I'm not trying to offend the bacon lovers. I know you guys love it. I love the bacon too. I used to eat it all the time. Nothing wrong with it. If you feel good about it, do it. If not, then avoid it. It's all good. If carb refeeds are a no-no on keto, how do you build muscle? Well, first of all, you don't need carbs to build muscle. Carbohydrates are not required to build muscle. All you need is amino acids and enough energy to rebuild it. So that energy can come from fat or carbohydrates. You don't need carbs to build muscle. You don't even need insulin to build muscle. It helps. Sure, it helps. You're trying to build as much lean muscle as you can. Eating carbs will be good. If you're trying to put on as much weight as you can indiscriminately, eating carbs can be great. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with carbs. But you don't need a refeed. You don't need carbs to build muscle. This is one bodybuilder guy. His name's John Anderson. Look at that guy. He just eats nothing but meat. All you need is protein to build muscle and calories from either fat or carbs. All right. Sean says, thanks for the answer. I'm definitely not trying not to get freakish, just fit and healthy, but look good aesthetically while I'm at it. Yeah, Sean, increase the frequency, which will increase your volume. And, that'll help out. Hey man, start a keto today. Can I drink whey protein to meet my requirements, or is it too insulin triggering? Okay. The insulin thing is not going to be an issue with the whey, really. I mean, it might trigger a little bit of insulin. All protein, all solid food will trigger insulin and glucagon. The beta cells in the stomach and the intestines will sense it and create insulin and glucagon, excrete them. So you can have whey. It's not going to destroy your progress. But why don't you just save your money on the whey and get it from Whole Foods? Get it from Whole Foods. Just get, eat salmon, eat grass-fed beef, eat eggs, eat sardines, meats, fish, vegetables, fats. You should be able to get your protein requirements without having to use whey protein. Yeah, I don't think whey's that great. I don't think it's anything special. I'm not a big fan. But it's fine. It's not going to hurt you. It's good. It's all good. Jerry says, thanks for sticking up for the bacon lovers. There you go. I'm here for all you guys. I don't care if you eat bacon. I'm not going to judge you. Just because I don't eat it. I didn't bring it up, by the way. I'm not the one to bring it up. You guys are baiting me into this. Trying to make me isolate my beloved viewers who love bacon. Ain't nothing wrong. Sean Kelly says, the video with you and Luis Villasenor was awesomely informative, by the way. You guys speak of the myth of mercury content in seafood. Can you talk a little more about that? I kind of said everything that needs to be said in that last hangout, man. Like mercury in seafood, there's mercury everywhere. Mercury is all over the place in every type of food. Now, seafood has been kind of bastardized in the media, and a lot of people freak out about mercury in seafood. The cool thing about seafood is it comes with iodine and selenium tied in there. These natural antioxidants actually bind to heavy metals and help bring them out of the body. So right there, the selenium that's in that seafood is going to help bind up heavy metals and bring them out of the body. Also, increasing your DHA levels in your body will increase the electrical charge through improving your cell membranes. So that means you'll be able to more easily detoxify these things from the body. I think that people are in more danger of deficiency of seafood than they are of overeating seafood and getting mercury contamination. Seafood comes bundled, and the DHA comes coupled with iodine and selenium, both which are required for detoxification and which are massively important. Almost everybody is deficient in iodine and selenium. So, yeah. Andrew says, my teeth were full of mercuries until I had my fillings redone. Yeah, my mouth was full of mercuries too, man. It was intense getting those out also. I had a couple years of really, really bad symptoms. And it takes years to get all that stuff out. I had like 6 mercury fillings I had removed. This was 7 years ago now. Wow. Long time ago. Michael Shermer is taking glutamine okay for recovery. It's not going to help your recovery. It's okay, but glutamine is also a glucogenic amino acid, meaning it can be easily converted to glucose. Not that it will be converted instantly to glucose, but yeah, like glutamine, save your money. Save your money on the glutamine. It's not going to make you, unless you're using it for gut and it's helping you with gut issues, there's really no reason to take a bunch of glutamine. Joy says, sorry, that comment didn't sound very nice. I actually eat bacon every day because it's sustainable for me on keto. I love bacon. Just don't think it's the cleanest food. Joy. There you go. See, Joy's being honest with herself. She's like, yeah, I'm down for the bacon. I know it's not the best thing. It's just like peanut butter, right? Like, I love peanut butter. It tastes amazing. Like, I'll eat some peanut butter. But I know it's not the best food. The high polyunsaturated fatty acid content of it, not very beneficial. But hey, sometimes we can't ever be perfect, right? We're going for improvement. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for progress. Quit looking at the wrong P word. Progress, not perfection. All right. M. Amo says, are there hormones yet to be discovered? Oh, for sure. For sure, man. Do you believe in epigenetics? Yeah, of course. Like genetics, the genetic determination models for disease, cancer, and all that, they're BS. They're crap. The way that your genes express themselves depend on the environment that you're in. They find that if they change the magnetic fields around plants, they'll have completely different genetic expressions. Think about that. As I'm sitting in front of my computer right here. Ryder. All right, it might be time to start wrapping this up, guys. I think we've been going for a long time. It's been almost 2 hours, and we've talked about so much. So thanks to everybody for joining. There's going to be a link in the description for the cookbook that we talked about, Jessica's The Ketogenic Edge Cookbook. A training manual for low-carb, ketogenic, and paleo cuisine is available exclusively on primaledgehealth.com. So check it out, primaledgehealth.com. If you want to join us in the next hangout, you want to be informed beforehand. I usually will post it up on the Facebook page. So if you look up Primal Edge Health on Facebook, you will find it. I will announce it on Facebook, and we usually send out a newsletter, which we didn't do today because this was an impromptu video. I hadn't put out a video in almost a week. Most of my videos lately have been talking to you guys because I don't know. It gets kind of boring just like holding up the camera and flapping my gums at it and talking about stuff. And I have an exhaustive catalog of videos all about the ketogenic diet, all about how to properly implement a well-formulated ketogenic diet. There's not that much else to say. So I like doing these hangouts. I prefer interacting with you guys and just getting feedback and talking to real people in real time. Even though it's just through typing, yes, it's not a real connection. We're not like face-to-face. We don't get to feel each other and be in each other's presence. It's closer than me just blabbering at a camera and than doing that. So I like doing these hangouts. If you want to be informed about them ahead of time, I will do my best to announce them by sending out a newsletter. You can sign up for our email list at primaledgehealth.com. Andrew Fawcett says, thanks for doing this. Thank you, Andrew, for joining. Estelle says the keto flatbread is amazing. If you guys want the keto flatbread recipe, you can check out the hangout that I did with Luis Villasenor 1 or 2 weeks ago, maybe last week. I don't know when it was, but he made the keto flatbreads live on YouTube, and he loved them too. He said he was make them a daily staple. But I really like that recipe too, Estelle. That's a good recipe. It's very, very simple. It's eggs, flax, and chia. Some salt and pepper too, and it's just really, really good. So good. So you can find that recipe and more in the Ketogenic Edge Cookbook, available exclusively on our website. You can't get it on Amazon. We're not a part of the paleo keto publishing mafia. This is all self-published, all through our little family-run business here. So we thank you guys for supporting and for enjoying the book. We thank you for connecting with us here live on YouTube on this hangout, and for bringing so many good questions, comments, and everybody's been really positive today. This is great. So yeah, thanks for joining us. You can find more at primaledgehealth.com. Check out the Ketogenic Edge Cookbook. It's more than a cookbook, and it will blow your mind. So I'll see you guys next time. Signing out from the mountains of Ecuador. Thanks for joining, everybody. Bye-bye.